thank you for coming. This is super cool. I'm like totally blown away. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. It's cool to be out on the TV and all that stuff, but it's much cooler to actually be in front of people that enjoy the whole Finish Strong message, enjoy the, in case you haven't heard, the Saints won the Super Bowl.
Finish Strong became a motto for the Saints, directly attributed to this book, and the Saints have been an incredible boat that has lifted the spirits of everyone in New Orleans. So this book is becoming a huge way of recognizing what's possible here in New Orleans, and we can finish strong.
You know, for the last 15 years, the Finish Strong attitude was such a moving force in my own personal life and professional life, and it's cool to finally see it start to bubble up and start to reach other people, and that's really why I do what I do. That's why I wrote the book back in 2008, to have a platform for communicating to people with the power that the Finish Strong mindset had on me, and it's really an honor to be here.
Dan, I want to thank you so much for coming to New Orleans, and I want to thank you so much for writing this book. You don't realize, and you probably do by now, but there's so many people that are going through their own personal struggles and also through the entire city of New Orleans because of Katrina. We didn't lose everything, but my son did, and he lived with this with his 3 little children, you know, for some period of time after Katrina, probably close to a year. So I just want to thank you. There's things in our lives that we're continuing to try to accomplish, and I believe that this book is going to give us the focus that we need to finish strong.
The Saints, I think, perfectly demonstrated how the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, and that any particular individual by itself is not as powerful when you put individuals together on a team. And I think that their victory perfectly underscores when individuals come together, and you have to obviously credit Sean Payton, I think, for building a great team of individuals, because any individual by themselves is not as powerful as a collective together, and I think their attitudes compounded themselves, and the attitude really made the difference.
I guess once the Saints had started with such a strong season this year, it was really inspirational to a lot of us.
Every year, over 1 million high school athletes apply for Division I scholarships. About 10,000 scholarships exist. And every year, the NFL drafts about 150 players. Just to give you an idea that these guys are the best of the best. What really separates the good from the great, that's attitude. And this year and last year, the Saints adopted a pretty powerful attitude and finished strong. And it all began last spring when Drew Brees gave a copy of the book to his players. He gave them, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but after they said, this is pretty cool, we like this, they all put on a Finish Strong wristband and agreed to hold themselves accountable to finish strong in everything they chose to do.
I just want to say that this Finish Strong book is a great inspirational book. What Dan has brought to the city of New Orleans, along with Sean Payton and Drew Brees, has really made the city come back. And it's a really great book and give everybody a lot of hope.
People are like, well, what is, Finish Strong, I get the message, but what is it really all about? The first thing it's about choice. It's about the belief that you and only you have the power to overcome adversity and respond to any challenge at any given time. So many times you get caught up in external factors about what other people think, what's happening around you, what the world's at. But at the end of the day, you control how you feel, and you control how you respond to any adversity, whether it's fear, discouragement, hate. And choice is really the linchpin in the Finish Strong attitude. The second aspect of Finish Strong is accountability. Once you believe that you control your own actions, you set your goals, you set your objectives, and you hold yourself accountable to that. Be your own best coach, be your own best cheerleader, because at the end of the day, nobody else is going to do it for you. If you're blessed to have great family and great friends and great coworkers, then that's awesome. But at the end of the day, you have to count on yourself and believe in your heart that you're the only one that can choose how to respond to adversity.
Finishing strong means an awful lot to me at my age, and I really believe it's very important as we grow older to remember the most important years of our lives lie ahead. And this book has made a difference for me and all my sales reps as well. So,
as teenagers, we go through a lot of struggles, and a lot of times you want to give up, but this will always teach you to push forward.
A lot of people have asked me in the last couple weeks, okay, that's cool, the Saints and athletes, but what does this mean to me? How can I use the Finish Strong attitude? And I don't want to say it's simple, but it's not complicated. At the end of the day, finish strong attitude, the finish strong lifestyle, to be very frank, is hard. Because once you adopt it, and once you start holding yourself accountable to finishing strong in everything you choose to do, it puts a lot of pressure on yourself. But it's also super rewarding. And, sometimes I curse myself for this finish strong thing that crept into my brain, but most of the time I'm thankful for it. And, I hold myself accountable. I still have all the challenges everybody else has. Now they're even bigger. So the first thing you have to do is you have to have a fundamental belief. And that belief is this: the cost of regret far exceeds the price of discipline. Peter Lowe said that to me in a seminar years ago. The cost of regret far exceeds the price of discipline. You can never get this moment back. And any regret that you have in the future, that cost far exceeds any small price you pay today to work towards your goals and objectives. And I once heard the definition of hell is meeting the person you could have been. And so a fundamental belief in the finish strong attitude is we don't settle for mediocrity. I don't put my head down on the pillow at night with any regrets. I know that at the end of the day, I've given the best I can. Don't always win. Don't always give the best speech. Don't always sign the most books. But I know at the end of the day, I did the best I could do, and I don't settle for mediocrity. And that's the bar that I set for myself.
Thank you, Dan, for coming. We heard you on the radio the other day, and my husband is 75. We lost our business, and it's a very important business here in New Orleans, and I thought this would give him a little bit of a jump start, give him a little spark again. Yeah?
The second thing that you have to believe and subscribe to is the fact that the great Greek philosopher said this: it's not what happens to you, it's how you choose to respond that matters. The choice. It's not what happens to you. At any given time, whether you're in a business meeting, whether you're on the golf course, whether you're in the gym working out, whether you're having a battle with your spouse, you and only you can choose how to respond to that adversity and those feelings at that point in time. And you really have to take a second and stop and think, how am I going to respond to this? Am I going to let my emotions overcome me? Am I going to respond in a negative, aggressive way? Am I going to lie down and capitulate and just let the situation overcome me? Or am I going to hold myself accountable, snap myself on the wrist and say, you know what? In my heart, I believe the best thing to do right now with the finish strong attitude is this. And do it.
We are starting, it's a stress group for women. The idea being is that people have a choice about how they handle stress.
I could not miss this afternoon to meet Dan in person and get his book and pass it on, especially to my son. My son is a Division III football coach. He coaches a defensive line and special teams at Rhodes College in Memphis. And we're very proud of him and the job he's done. And he's a great inspiration and influence on his team members. And this book is going to be awesome to have it in writing and to pass it along. And also to the young men that I counsel. I counsel young men and young women in a program here in New Orleans. So I'm really happy to be here today and to meet the author.
And that's the third thing you have to do, is action, is move forward. Always move forward in positive steps.
But this message is so important for so many other people, and then I can use it in my teaching situation. And then I have a friend with MS, which is multiple sclerosis, and just for her to be encouraged to go ahead and each day find some goal, to stay positive, and just to have something to get excited about and to focus on, and to do it well and to finish strong.